Hey friends, welcome back to our Writer's Workshop. I'm so excited to see you back again today. So I'm curious, have you ever watched an exciting sport game and you copied a move that the player did? Or maybe you copied their touchdown dance? Or maybe you've watched a movie and you reenacted and imitated a scene that the character did, or you sang a song like they did. It's fun to try things that other people do, and we get ideas from each other. So, writers, today I want to teach you that writers read books written by other authors and they say, oh my goodness, that author just did something so special in their book, and I want to try that in my own writing. And then guess what? They try it. So, you friends know that we've been reading a lot from our book, Night of the Veggie Monster. It's been so exciting and funny to read. And so this is going to be an author that we look at, and we're going to see what exciting things the author, and the author's name of this story is George McClements. So I'll reference him as George. The author of this story is George, and we're going to look at what George does to make this story so special. And then we're going to see if we can copy some of the things that he does into our own stories to make it exciting. That's allowed. We're not going to copy his story, but we're going to copy some of the cool things that he does. So today we're going to focus on learning craft moves. That means we're going to learn all the fun strategies and cool things that he does from a mentor author. And so we're going to learn from George McClements today. So as we're reading through this story, we're going to look together and work together as a team to see, what did George do? And why did he do this? What did he do as he was writing, and why did he do it? So let's review our story, Night of the Veggie Monster by George McClements. The author writes the words. The author writes the words. Hi-ho, oh, did you know? The author writes the words. All right, let's begin. Something terrible happens every Tuesday night. It's not the pork chops or the mashed potatoes. It all starts when I'm forced to eat. Do you see those ... Peas! Oh my goodness. So something that stood out to me right away is that George, he does something. It's punctuation that maybe you've never seen before. At the end of this page, he writes, it all starts when I'm forced to eat, and he writes ... Boys and girls, that ... that he puts in the middle of a sentence, he didn't put it at the end, he put it in the middle of the sentence, because the sentence isn't done when he says, it all started when I'm forced to eat. Is that the end of his sentence? No, but he put ... Those three dots are called an ellipse. And authors use ellipses in the middle of a sentence. And I'm curious why they do that. So he wrote an ellipse in the middle of his sentence, that ... Now, I want you to notice the way I read this. I'm going to read it again. It's not the pork chops or the mashed potatoes. It all starts when I'm forced to eat peas. So, boys and girls, those three dots actually tell the reader to pause and wait a few seconds before they read the next word. And when they do that, it's a way to build excitement. See, George could have just written, it's not the pork chops or the mashed potatoes. It all starts when I'm forced to eat peas. But would that have had the same effect if it didn't have the ellipse? It all starts when I'm forced to eat peas. Do you see how that long pause built excitement for the reader? So boys and girls, authors can put ellipses, that ... in the middle of a sentence to build excitement for their readers. So let's keep reading. My parents act as if I'm making it all up, but I'm not. I wonder how soon before he starts. Oh, it should be any minute now. They have no idea what one tiny pea can do to me. With just the slightest touch. Ooh, and there's another ellipse, ... It begins. And we're off. My fingers become all wiggly. I knew he would start with the fingers. As the pea rests in my mouth, my eyes begin to water. My toes twist and curl up in my shoes. That's a new one. So, boys and girls, as I read this, I notice something really special that George, the author, does. I notice that he's writing the exact actions that people do. He uses words like, my toes twist and curl up in my shoes. He says that his eyes begin to water, and he says that his fingers start to wiggle. He's describing the exact actions that are happening. George could have just written, my body doesn't like when I eat the peas. But was that really exciting if I read that and it just said, my body doesn't like when I eat the peas, next page? No, it was so much more exciting when he told us the exact details. I also noticed that when he tells us exactly what the characters are doing and describing those exact actions, it helped me, and hopefully you too, make a movie in your mind. As I was reading that, were you able to imagine in your head like a movie and see a little boy about to eat a pea with a pea in his mouth and his eyes are watering and his fingers are wiggling and his toes are twisting and curling? Yes, because when you write the exact actions that the characters are doing, it helps your reader make a movie in their mind. That's a cool strategy that George did. I think that's something we can copy. Let's keep reading. I squirm in my seat. I try to keep control, but the pea is too strong. I start to transform into a Veggie Monster, ready to smash the chairs, ready to tip the table, ready to gulp. So we'll pause there. Did you notice something special about the words on this page? And maybe you've noticed them on the other pages as well. What do you notice? What's so special about the way the words are written? Yes, I do see an ellipse. But yes, I also see that some of the words look a little bit different. Some of the words are written really big. Some of the words are written in all capital letters. And even the word tip, it's kind of written wobbly, right? So these are called pop-out words. Pop-out words are when words are written in all capital letters, or they're written in a silly way, or they're written in bold. And bold is just like here where it says a Veggie Monster. It looks like someone traced over those letters over and over to make them bold and darker and pop out. That's what bold means. When writers do these to words, we call them pop-out words because these words pop out at you. And these pop-out words are very important because pop-out words can tell the reader to read those specific words with a strong voice. So you'll notice when I read that page, a Veggie Monster, ready to smash the chairs, ready to tip the table, ready to. Do you see how when I got to those words that were written in bold or in capital letters or written silly, I made sure my voice was strong to match the way it was written. So that's a great strategy that George does that we could do too. Make our words bold and make our words in capital letters. Now remember, we only want to do that with words that are important, that we want the reader to read in a strong voice. So we won't do that to all of the words on our page, but those few that are very important that we want to emphasize and make important. So I'll go ahead and finish the story for today. About to turn into a Veggie Monster, ready to smash the chairs, ready to tip the table, ready to. Gulp. I swallowed the pea. I actually swallowed the pea. Tasted all right, really. Well, I guess peas are okay, but there is still a danger. Because tomorrow is Wednesday, and on Wednesday we have broccoli. Here we go again. The end. So, boys and girls, here's the important thing that I want you to remember. We can study texts and books that we love to help us learn new ways to write. So we learned how we can use ellipses, those ... in the middle of a sentence to build excitement. We learned about how, just like George, we can describe the exact actions that characters do to make a movie in the reader's mind. And we also learned how, just like George, we can make words pop out and make them big to show the reader that they need to read those words with a strong voice. Our favorite authors can be our favorite writing teachers. We just need to read and reread their writing, reread their stories, and ask ourselves, what made this writing so special? What has the writer done that I could try? So, boys and girls, we looked at George Clement's book today, but there are tons of books with tons of great strategies and ideas that you could look at and copy too. So, boys and girls, today and every day, I want to remind you that you can look at your favorite books for special things for you to try in your own writing. And also, like writers always do, you can invent your own way and your special way of making your writing special. All right, it's your turn to continue working on your story. Maybe you're going to go back and add these strategies to a story that you've already written, or maybe you're ready to start a new story and start with the planning phase, and you're thinking about ways you can use these strategies and copy George Clement's with those pop-out words and those showing exact details. All right, writers go write.